All right, guys, today I'm gonna talk about the announcements made at E3, and I know everybody makes these kind of videos, and I'm sure a lot of you watched E3 and already know what's been announced, but I thought you guys might want to hear my opinions on some of the games that were announced. I'm not gonna cover everything in this video because that could take hours. I could sit here and talk to the camera for hours, but I just want to quickly go over the conference in general, talk about the games that were released, at least the ones that are interesting to me and appealing to me, and then yeah, just give my thoughts overall. So first of all, I'm going to start with Bethesda because I thought they did the best job at E3 this year. I'm really proud of how well they did. I love Bethesda. I love the Fallout games. I love Fallout 3. I've been playing tons of New Vegas lately, even though I played it, when it came out. I'm replaying through it again because I love the game that much. I think the Fallout games are some of the best games out, and they announced Fallout 4, and I think that's so awesome. I watched all the trailers multiple times. It just looks amazing. I am so glad to see them make a new Fallout game because, to me, the Elder Scrolls games are okay, but I can't get into them that much. I know there's a lot of people out there that really like them and probably like them more than Fallout, and that's your opinion, but I just like Fallout better, so I was really happy to hear that they were making a new Fallout. I'm just gonna touch over some of the things that they showed. They have better dialogue, which I think is really cool. Your character actually has a voice.
Codsworth? You're still here.
There's a voice actor actually saying all of the things that you say, because it was kind of one-sided with the other Fallout games. You'd kind of choose what you were gonna say, and then the person would just respond. Your character didn't really have a voice, so I think it's really cool that they're adding a voice to your character. The character customization, wow. If you guys saw that, I was honestly blown away. They just had the character standing in front of a mirror and you can change it real time right there. And I thought that was just so awesome. You have a dog companion. I really like that. It seems a bit cliche. Probably a lot of you are thinking that, but I think it's really cool. And they kind of had that in the other Fallout games, but it wasn't that big of a deal. But they really showed that in this in the announcements for this game, and I think it's really cool. Also, the building and crafting. Oh my god. Seriously, it's amazing. You can basically take whole buildings and scrap them and then build your own fortress. If it delivers what I think it will, which I'm pretty sure it will because it's Bethesda and they already showed it here, it's gonna be amazing. I cannot wait. I thought that was easily the coolest part. Like, they showed whole fortresses you could build. You could build these massive areas. You could practically build whole towns. It was just so cool. And then also, for the special edition, they're actually making a real-life Pip-Boy, which I think is really cool. I've been waiting to see something like that from Bethesda. It just made sense. And although I'm a little disappointed that you have to put your iPhone in it, it's not that big of a deal. And also considering the price, it's only gonna be like 120 bucks. So I know that sounds like kind of a lot, but when you think about it, I mean, that's the game. And that's also, whatever packaging it comes with. And then you have the Pip-Boy, which I think that's a pretty fair price. I was actually expecting it to be, closer to like 200 bucks. So I think 120 is really fair for that. And then the other things Bethesda announced, I wasn't too excited about, including the Fallout Shelter app, which I mean is kind of cool. Something to hold us over until November, until Fallout 4 comes out. But I mean, it's just, an iPhone game. New Doom, I don't really care. I know a lot of people out there like Doom, but I don't really care all that much. Although the Snap Map feature looked pretty cool, you can build your own maps. That seems like something that should have been in Doom. Just looking at the game, I feel like that's something that should have been there for a long time. So I'm glad they are adding it at this point. So yeah, and I think it's cool you can share maps online and download other people's maps. I think that's really cool, actually. And then they announced a Dishonored sequel. Don't really care. So Microsoft, I was surprised at the amount of stuff Microsoft showed. I was honestly pretty impressed. Most of their big titles, though, I don't really care about. They announced Halo 5, Forza 6, Fable Legends, I don't really care. I mean, seriously, we've seen all this stuff before, and like the idea that they're gonna like all of a sudden innovate these games, they're all the same. I mean, if you guys like them, that's fine by you. But I don't know. I haven't been a fan of Halo since Halo Reach. I just think it's gotten stale. I really loved the first 4 or 5 Halos. I loved them. You know, 1, 2, 3. ODST not as much, but Halo Reach spent tons of time playing that game. But yeah, after that, you know, Halo 4 didn't really care. And this, you know, I mean, it looks cool, and I'm sure that I'll probably pick it up eventually once the price drops. But it's not something I'm gonna be buying day one. Forza 6 as well. You know, you guys know that for me, I like playing racing games on PC because you can use, you know, whatever steering wheel you have, and you know, you don't have to keep buying new steering wheels for each console you get. So I really don't see the point in, you know, at least from my opinion, I don't see a point in getting a racing game on a console because you're either limited to a controller or a licensed racing wheel, which for Microsoft, you know, for the Xbox racing wheels, those things are in the couple $100 range. Like, I think like $400 or $500 for a decent racing wheel. So I just don't want to do that. And there are tons of other options on PC for racing games, so I don't really care about that. I was surprised by the amount of indie games they showed. I'm really impressed with Microsoft, actually. You know, I'm giving them crap for their first party stuff, but I mean, you have to kind of expect, you know, the stuff that they're releasing. You know, it's what people want, and you know, I know I'm the minority, and I know a lot of people are really anticipating these AAA titles from Microsoft. But you know, I was really impressed mostly by the amount of indie games they showed, and a lot of them are gonna also be on PC, which makes me happy because, you know, the PC is just, I think it's just a better way to play multiplats. But Sea of Thieves, which actually isn't an indie game. I accidentally skipped over it. Sea of Thieves is by Rare. Rare is making a new game, which I think is really cool. You know, it's a pirate-themed like MMO. It looks like, because they showed a bunch, like from the gameplay, they showed, you know, people with their name tags on top of them. So it looks like it's going to be an MMO. No one's really sure yet, but it's obviously going to be some kind of multiplayer pirate-themed game, which, I mean, it looks okay, but it's also coming out for PC. Rare Replay. This is a collection of all the Rare games, well, except for Donkey Kong and GoldenEye. Those are the big ones that got left out, but that's because they don't still own the rights to those games, which makes sense. But they're gonna have tons of their older IPs coming back, hopefully remastered. I don't know how much graphical tweaking they're gonna do to it, but it looks like they're gonna remaster almost all the games. And it's 30 games for $30. So I am picking that up for sure. That is awesome. And I'm glad to see stuff like this, because I know people are getting tired of the remasters and everything, but 30 games for $30, that is insane. And it'll finally give me a reason to play some more games on my Xbox One, which I am happy to do. Gears of War Ultimate Edition, don't care. Let's just go back to what I was talking about the indie games. So a bunch of indie games, including Gigantic, Tacoma, Ashen, Cuphead. To me, Cuphead looks like the most interesting. The others look cool, but I do want to see more. I'm a little skeptical because they really just showed CG trailers, and I don't know. I don't want to base whether or not I'm buying a game on a CG trailer. I want to see actual gameplay because, as you guys probably know, a lot of the CG trailers look a lot better than the actual games. So, a lot of them I would be interested in getting if I saw more, especially Tacoma. You're exploring this like abandoned space station. It looks really cool. Ashen looks a lot like, I was surprised, it looks a lot like Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, kind of that style. I think it looks really cool. But from the trailer, I couldn't really tell what it is. I have really no clue what the gameplay is. And Cuphead, I think Cuphead looked the most interesting. it looks the most fun to me. It has this really cool art style. It looks like the old 30s cartoons. It looks straight out of like classic Walt Disney stuff. It looks really cool. I'll definitely be getting that one. I think that one is coming to PC as well. Beyond Eyes, that one looked really cool. It's about this blind girl who's kind of exploring this area, and parts of the map come into view as you're walking around. It looks really cool, and I really like the art style. It looks kind of like some watercolor paintings, kind of. I think it looks really awesome. I love the art style on that, but I do want to see more of that, see what the gameplay is like. That's about it for games. I know I kind of skipped over some, but I mean, a lot of the indie titles, like I said, I would like to see a lot more before I really have any solid opinions on them. And then the last couple of things for Microsoft, they're announcing the Xbox 360 games will be backwards compatible. But like the 360 did original Xbox games, it's not going to be all the games. It's going to be a game-by-game basis. Although it's really cool that they're bringing online for the 360 games. So you can play online 360 games on your Xbox One and still connect online. I think that is a huge, huge selling point for me. I think that's really cool. We haven't really seen that before. So that's pretty big. And you can play with people on other 360s or other Xbox Ones. So it's like cross-platform multiplayer. I think that's really cool. Very good move by Microsoft. And I'm just, overall impressed with the way Microsoft turned themselves around, because, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, they were not pleasing anybody with the DRM and crap. And I'm really glad they kicked that Don Matrick guy out. And I think Phil Spencer has been doing a really great job turning the Xbox brand around and really making it more, gamer centric. And I think they're doing a great job. Like I said, first party titles I'm getting a little bit bored of, but I know there are a lot of people out there that are expecting those. And I'm glad Phil Spencer is taking control and getting some awesome games onto the Xbox One. The Minecraft HoloLens. Now, if you guys know me that well, you know that I am really sick of Minecraft. I played it so much in middle school that I am really just burnt out on it, and I can barely play the game anymore. But they showed off the HoloLens playing Minecraft on Xbox One, and it was really cool. I am really impressed with the technology. It's basically like this pair of glasses that creates holograms on surfaces. So like, say you have a coffee table, you can see your Minecraft world on the table, and it tracks the table, and as you move around, it stays on the table, and it allows you to look around and kind of control your viewpoint. It lets you build. Really cool. It's like having virtual Legos. It looks really cool, and I am, guys, even me, who's really sick of Minecraft, I'm really actually tempted to try this out because I think it looks really cool. I'm amazed with the technology. Although if the HoloLens is more than like 100, or I think if it's anywhere above like 150 or 200 bucks, I'm probably gonna pass on it because they've only shown one game, and I don't really know how else games are gonna take advantage of it. We'll have to see in the future, I guess. But yeah, I'd like to see some more demos with it. Then I might think about buying it. But yeah, it's just gonna depend on how many games use it. So that was Microsoft. I'm actually really proud of them. Phil Spencer and the whole Xbox team, I think they're doing a great job. And they're really turning around their image. I'm really impressed. Nintendo. Nintendo was kind of lackluster this year. I wasn't too impressed. But yeah, it's Nintendo. I mean, they keep releasing the same IPs, so, but we still play them. I mean, even I'm guilty of that. I have Mario Kart 8 and the new Smash Bros, and I still love them, even though, they're really not that innovative. But I think the coolest thing they showed this year was the Super Mario Maker game. You can basically make your own Super Mario levels, which I think is something that should have existed back in like the NES days. I think they could have done that, because they did it on Excitebike. So I think like it would just make sense. It just makes sense, and I'm glad they're finally doing it. And like like the Doom level editor, you can share levels, you can download other people's levels, and they're gonna have difficulty ratings and other stuff like that based on how many players finish it and the amount of time and the amount of lives. And so I think it's a really cool idea. I'm really glad, and basically there's infinite replay value. I mean, you can create as many levels as you want, download other people's once you run out of ideas. I mean, it's just crazy. So I don't know how much that's gonna be when it launches, but I think it's really cool, and I'll definitely be picking that up. Star Fox Zero looks pretty cool, I have to admit. You know, it is another Star Fox, but I think it looks pretty cool. I'll probably pick it up, you know, because it's Star Fox. I mean, just, you can't go wrong with Star Fox. But I didn't really like the gamepad gimmicks they showed off. It looks like they're still kind of like trying to prove to us that the gamepad's worth having this giant screen, and I just, you know, they haven't really done anything that amazing with it other than, I think the only thing that really used it well was in Nintendo Land with the Luigi's Mansion minigame. I think that was a cool use of it, and I think that's really the only time I could say that I felt like having that extra screen was worth it. But you know, I think it's, you know, I feel like they're just trying to shoehorn it in at this point. But yeah, we'll see. I'll have to see how well that does, you know, with reviews and all that. So I might get Star Fox. Zelda Triforce Heroes, don't really care. I'm sorry. Never really liked Zelda that much, I know. But, you know, it's never really gripped me. I don't know what it is. And I know a lot of people love Zelda, so not saying it was like a bad game or anything, but just not my style. I had another Animal Crossing thing that looked pretty cheesy. New Metroid, which, Yoshi's Woolly World actually looked pretty cool. I dig the art style, the kind of yarn based art style. I think that looks cool, although it just kind of looks like another platformer. But what do you expect from Nintendo? But yeah, you know, that looked pretty cool. And then the last thing I have to talk about is Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. People were giving this game a lot of crap. Like, I was honestly surprised. I was watching it, the YouTube video for it, the announcement on Nintendo's page, and I swear all the comments were just like, nobody likes Mario Tennis. Oh, another Mario Tennis game. It's like, okay. You know, it's like they're surprised that it's the same thing, when it's like, that's kind of what Nintendo's known for. Like, they've been doing the same thing for years now. It's like they keep releasing like the same kind of games. It's like, just because it's Mario Tennis, I guess people just don't like it. But I think it's funny that people are bashing it for being the same as other Mario Tennis games, when really, like, look at all the Super Mario Brothers games. They're all kind of the same, but yeah. Anyway, that was it for Nintendo. Like I said, kind of lackluster, you know, not a whole lot going on there. So let's move on to Sony. You know, I'm not going to talk too much about Sony because I don't have a PS4 and I don't have a PS3. And it's not that I don't like Sony, it's just I just don't have their consoles, and I'm kind of getting out of the newer consoles. I don't really like the newer consoles as much as, God, stupid fly, as much as the PC for newer games. So I'm not hating on Sony. I'm sure I'm gonna get thumbs down and like, oh, you don't own a PS4, oh, you own an Xbox One, screw you. I don't really like the Xbox One that much either. You know, I'm not a fanboy in any way, you know, and I'm not like a PC gaming master race kind of guy either. So it's just, I got out of consoles at a bad time. I bought an Xbox One and it kind of turned me off from consoles. I'm sure you guys are gonna be like, well, you know, Last of Us remastered and all these PS4 games. I don't need to own the console for those games. I know there's some pretty cool exclusives, but I'll live without them. You know, it's like, if someone like gave me a PS4, I'd be like, sure, I'll take it, but I'm not gonna go out and buy one for 400 bucks, you know, when there's only like 3 or 4 games that I want on it. So anyway, that aside, I will still talk about Sony. Last Guardian. Everybody's raving over Last Guardian, which makes sense because Ico and Shadow of the Colossus came out a long time ago. I need to get those. I know, I need to play them. But yeah, people are just like freaking out over Last Guardian. I think it looks cool. I like, honestly, like, I'm, you know, if I get a chance to play it, I'll be happy. But like I said, I'm not gonna go out and buy a PS4 for one. But yeah, I think it looks really cool, and I'm glad that the fans are getting their next sequel for this franchise. I think that's really cool of Sony to do. They showed it like a Hitman game. I don't really care. No Man's Sky looks really cool, although that's coming to PC, so I'll probably get it there. Final Fantasy VII Remake, that's actually pretty big. That's pretty cool, actually. I'm glad they're doing that. Uncharted 4, I don't know how many Uncharteds they need to make. I'm sure a lot of you guys like Uncharted, but like I don't get what they could keep doing. I don't know. I could be completely wrong, but I don't know. And then the biggest thing from Sony, Shenmue 3. And I know Adam Koralik like freaked out over this, rightfully so. Shenmue 2 came out on the Xbox here in North America in like 2001, 2002, somewhere around there. And you know, it's been over 10 years. So I get it. I have Shenmue 1 on the Dreamcast right here. I really like the game. Don't kill me, but I haven't finished it. Sorry. But I think it's really cool that they're finally making Shenmue 3. The story, I from what I understand, the story was a complete cliffhanger at the end of Shenmue 2. So I think it's really cool that they're bringing it back. And it was kind of a niche game, and it still kind of is. But I think it's cool that Sony's listening to the hardcore fans and making Shenmue 3. I think that's awesome. And they're doing a Kickstarter, which is kind of weird. I don't know, it just seems kind of weird to me because I feel like, well, Sony isn't doing that well, so I guess it kind of makes sense. But you didn't hear that here. But yeah, it's just, I think it's really cool that they're listening to the fans. And I think, if I get really into Shenmue, I gotta say Sony is trying to bring some games to the table, but like I said, is it worth buying a PS4 for? And I'm sure a lot of you think it is. Good for you. So yeah, I'm happy for you guys that really have been waiting for, Last Guardian, Shenmue 3, the Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think Sony's really trying hard to get some good games out of there, and I think they're kind of doing it. Hopefully they can hold on. Hopefully they can gain some more profit off the PlayStation division. Last company that I'm gonna talk about, I know I probably missed something, but EA. There's a lot about EA. A lot of games that EA makes that I could honestly not care less about. Mostly sports games, and I know there's probably people watching that really like sports games. I'm sorry, I don't like sports. So just don't kill me. I'm glad that you like sports games. I just find them to be really repetitive. They release a new one every year and don't really change a whole lot. I know you guys have your favorite players and you like seeing your players in the game. That's fine and all, and if it's worth it to you, it's worth it to you. But I'm just not really into that, so I'm not really going to talk about more sports crap, the new FIFA and the new NBA. I mean, they look fine, but they're sports games. Let's see, what else here? Need for Speed. Like I said, I prefer PC racers, but the graphics did look freaking awesome. I gotta admit, it looked really good. Mass Effect, don't care. New Star Wars Old Republic expansion. Good for you guys that like Old Republic. You get in this expansion. But yeah, I don't really care all that much. Unravel, that actually looked pretty cool. It looked kind of like Yoshi's Woolly World. Kind of that same kind of yarn style thing. We'll have to see more. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2. I don't really care that much. The new Mirror's Edge game actually looks pretty decent. I do want to see more, and I haven't played the original, but it looks cool. So we'll see. That could turn out pretty well. And the one everybody's freaking out about, Star Wars Battlefront. I have to admit, the trailers they showed at E3 kind of turned my opinion around on the whole EA doing Battlefront thing. I was honestly pretty impressed. The graphics look fantastic, and I'm not really a graphics whore, but it looked freaking amazing. What else? It just looks so cool. You get to, you have all the vehicles from the movies to mess around with. You get to play as, the stormtroopers, or, it's just so cool. I really haven't, I don't really have much else to say for it. It just looks so cool. And we'll have to see though. I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna pre-order it because I still am kind of scared with EA handling it. I know that sounds like I'm hating on EA, which I kind of am, but you know, EA does not have the best track record, especially recently. So we'll have to see. Hopefully they release it pretty much finished. You know, I hope that it's not super buggy or anything. But yeah, I'll probably wait a couple weeks till after it comes out to see how well it's doing and see, you know, if it's playable. You know? So yeah, that's it, guys, for my E3 recap. And I know I didn't go over everything. If there's something I didn't go over and you guys are curious about my opinion on it, leave it in the comments below. Also, tell me, you know, what was your favorite part of E3? What are you most excited for? So I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. I know it's kind of late. You know, you've probably already seen tons of E3 recap videos, but I thought you guys might be interested in my opinion on some of these games that were announced. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching as always, guys. Make sure to rate, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you all later.